Today we are finally getting into the spoilers for Paddington 2, Terrifier 2. Very different, those two. It's like the difference between fucking and holding hands.
So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking, let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS, cause Halloween never ends, Halloween never ends, Halloween never ends, yeah.
We did the regular review a while back when I saw it for the first time in theaters, but wanted to wait until it was available on streaming to put out the spoiler review for it, and it is now available on streaming. It's really good family entertainment. You should definitely have your kids watch it. I believe I gave it a 9 in my initial review of it. That will go down just a little bit this time, and we'll talk about why. I still love the movie. It's still one of my favorite movies of the entire year. Maybe my favorite horror movie of the whole year. We'll see when it gets around to that time in December. But yeah, I absolutely love and adore this movie. Let's get into why. It starts off with the holy shit package. It does. It throws you right the fuck in there, man. You get the security guard who's falling around everywhere. Art's writing his name, in blood that he got from the back of this fucking gaping wound in his head. And then he goes over to this dude and just, he notices that his eyeball's gone. He rips this dude's eyeball out, puts it inside of his eye hole, right? After he's slashed him and done all this other stuff. The poor guy's on the phone with police and he can't talk because his Ganges are falling out of his fucking neck. And Art just goes over, starts messing with him in the classic way. Dude, it's so funny the way he acts. Like, it's so weird. He could be doing the most depraved shit, and then the next second he'll be like, when he put the eyeball in, it's like, the dude's like, what the fuck, man? It's just I think that may be my favorite part of it, is that I cannot believe this guy can make you laugh while he's doing just worse shit than we saw those parents doing to those kids in that Netflix Dance Team documentary or whatever it was. Cuties? Oh God. Not just that, but then he rips that dude's face hole open. I mean, just gets in there like it's a fucking walnut and just, it was awesome. It was amazing. And it really lets you know. It's like, hey, I'm here to fuck you up. Let's go. One of the best opening scenes ever, man. That ruled. So then Art goes to a laundromat, and this is when we start to tiptoe through the tulips of the lore a little bit, start fucking around. He goes in there, he takes off, he gets butt-ass naked. There's a dude passed out in the corner, like in every laundromat you've ever been to in your life. Is he dead? Is he drunk? I don't know. Then he sees this little girl, and you're like, what the fuck is this? This little girl sitting over there, she looks like Art. She's got the pigtails, all that shit. And she just takes your shit in the floor, like you do. You just shit in the floor when you make a new friend, and it's disgusting. Very diarrhea-ish. She should definitely have some electrolytes after that. And then it comes up, and they just make best friends because they're fucking weird. And she's poking his eye hole, and he's laughing. The dude wakes up, and clearly Art's talking to himself because he's a fucking wackadoo. And then Art gets his second victim when you don't see it happen, but as he leaves, there is, I believe, a plunger stuck through the man's skull. Then we get introduced to Sienna, which is played by Lauren Lavera, who is now one of my favorite all-time final girls in a movie. She just rocked the shit out of this. She's badass. She is tough. She's charismatic. She shows emotion well. She is just a killer actress and amazing for this franchise, man. They're so lucky that they found her. It's amazing. And it feels like an homage to the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warrior scene with the opening when she's working on her costume and the badass music is playing. Amazing soundtrack and score to this, by the way, all the way through. There's some Boy Harsher in there. Pain makes the rhythm, makes the rhythm, makes the rhythm. Pain, pain. I hope we get to see Lauren Lavera and David Howard Thornton going at it for years to come. I really do. That's just an amazing thing. And also, by the way, she is not 44 years old. If I can help with that whatsoever, because Google has her listed as 44 years old, and everybody's like, what the fuck? She's putting this whole costume together, and then you start to meet the family, the mom, who's amazing. I thought she's realistic as fuck. I like that her mom was she says fucking shit and cock and balls and all this stuff, and you can tell she's struggling. She's working her ass off. She reminds me kind of the mom from Malcolm in the Middle, but just toned down or whatever. But I like that she's not some cookie cutter, oh my gosh, let me bake you a pie in the oven mom. She's struggling, so she's like, you fucking kids, I'm gonna beat your asses. She felt way more realistic to me, and the actress had a way of making you care about her and what she was going through, which is why what happens to her later is actually a shock and it's upsetting. So we meet the little brother as well, and we find out that he's a little fucked in the head also. He's wanting to go as Art the Clown for Halloween. He's talking about Nazis and what they do to people's eyeballs, and the movie really red herrings him a little bit to kind of be like, hey, watch out for that fucking guy. you know, and he's upstairs in his room, like, reading about all this fucked up shit that's happened. But the family obviously has some sort of connection to it because the dad used to be an artist or whatever, but I guess apparently he went a little bit crazy and he has all these journals with all these drawings. One of the drawings is of this character that he made, and that is who she's making her gigantic angel wings costume out of. She's being that character, and she's been working on it for 3 months, and it's a big deal to her. And he's obviously the dad's passed away, and there were some issues there in his head that the mom mentions at some point. But the dad also had, at one point later on, the kid found clippings of the murders that had happened and shit that connects to art in a weird way. And I don't really know what to make of that. It's never really quite explained. It's left on for future sequels. And I know we're jumping around a little bit here, but they do leave that off for future sequels to be explained. What the dad's connection is, why all the shit that happens at the end of the movie happens, because clearly there's something going on with that sword and everything. That's just a little thing that's in there that's never really patched, but I think it's meant to be that way. And then we get to what probably is my least favorite part of the movie, the dream sequence that happens. She goes to sleep after working on her costume, and she's sleeping, and she fades away into this weird TV show-ish thing where these kids are singing these songs. They're all dressed up. You've seen it, you know. The girl with a guitar. And then Art comes in, he starts giving them presents, and then he pulls out like a Tommy gun and just brutally murders all of them. I didn't love that scene. I just, with everything, you know, I'm not like upset or offended by it. Just, with everything going on in the world, I just didn't. I was just like, I didn't need to see that. That didn't really. So, and also the fact that it was a dream sequence. And I know later on when she gets dipped into the water pit, right? She's back in that world again. So I'm sure that dream sequence somehow ties into the bigger picture here. But for this movie, it felt like this is the thing you could have taken out to save running time, just in my opinion. I know you got some kills and stuff in there, but technically, do they count because it was a dream sequence? I don't know. That's for Dead Meat or someone to decide, not me. But yeah, he takes him out with the Tommy gun. It's brutal, and you know some of the deaths are brutal, and there's some cool effects and stuff that go on there. I just thought it was like it's a dream sequence, and it doesn't you don't really figure out why it's happening, and it went on for a while. So I felt like the running time, that could have been the big chunk of the running time they could have taken out, just in my opinion. But if you liked it, that's awesome. I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was poorly done. I just think it was probably my least favorite. We go to the school, and these kids are behind a dumpster like they're in a Rob Zombie movie, staring at a fucked up possum with a bunch of gross shit in it. But you do get to see Felissa Rose come out, and she's awesome. Very, very, very short role in this, but she's awesome. She's like, get your fucking asses inside, you little bastards. And then later on, you'll also see Halloween 5's Tamara Glenn, which was dope. And while they're at the school, this is where the little brother sees both Art and the little girl he's been walking around with the entire time. And they're just sitting in the hallway playing with the possum. It's fucking disgusting. They get all inside of it and pull it out. And it's just so gooey. And it's disgusting. And then they throw the possum at him, which is kind of fucking hilarious. He takes off running. The school teacher sees him, and he gets blamed for vandalizing the school. So he gets home, and the really angry mom we were talking about, she's like, you get the fuck upstairs. We all have seen that mom's look. My mom beat the shit out of me with a broom handle once because I went to the neighbor's house across the street and took all their porch furniture off and set it up in the middle of the road exactly how it was set up on their porch. I know it's fucked up with me now, but at the time it was kind of funny. Anyways, the sheriff came to my mom's work, and yeah, I deserve that broom beating. We go on to one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, the Halloween store. Not just because of the awesome Halloween setting, and this movie has underrated Halloween atmosphere qualities to it, from the dance scene or the bar scene that they were at to the end at the carnival where there's pumpkins everywhere. The whole Halloween vibe that's going on throughout this movie is fantastic. But they're in the Halloween store. It's like a Spirit Halloween type space with two floors to it. I wish our Spirit Halloween had 2 fucking floors. Art's just standing there like full costume, because he's in the store just fucking with her. He's standing still and makes her like walk by, and then when she goes to pay, she forgets her purse and he slams it down in front of her. And then it's absolutely hilarious when she's trying to check out, she's like freaked out, and he's over here trying on the glasses and all that. Man, David Howard Thornton crushes this character. He just does. He's very Jim Carrey, like super obviously physical comedy because he can't speak, but it just works. That was one of the things that you miss with streaming too, by the way. Like, I mean, when you watch it at home streaming, when I went to see this in the theater, it was a full packed house. I mean, I had people to the right and to the left of me, and the whole place was filled up. And moments like that where everybody cracks up and just relieves the tension was really neat. So I'm glad they had a great theater run and the movie did so good. But you're watching it and she goes up to the thing, and the guy working behind the counter was really good too. Like, he was a natural actor. I liked him a lot. Art the Clown's fuck with. He puts the horn right up to her. It starts to slowly squeeze the horn. She's like, please don't stop. And he does it anyways. She leaves. Art locks the door, comes back, obviously kills the guy. But not before fucking with him. Like, when he's going through his bag and just like putting coins and shit, and the dude's like, dude, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out. Art takes the beer bottle and just, right in his fucking face, pulls him over the counter. And I was wondering how he's gonna do that too, because the counter's so much taller than Art was. Beheads him, and ooey gooeys everywhere, all over the place. Stabs him so many times. The effects on that face where the eye was immediately swollen from the beer bottle, super gross. Super fucking awesome. But the next kill after that, holy tits in Vegas, man. That's the scene's masterpicios. That's Master P? Master P Cheerios? He goes and he starts fucking with her friend Allie, and then eventually breaks into her house and just has his way like Burger King with her bodies in bits. It's disgusting, it's depraved, it's fucked up, and we all loved it. The eyeball slash, holy God! The eyeball slash on the bed, it just goes straight down like a fucking credit card. And we've all had those like quick little paper cuts that are just straight like that. And just to imagine it over your eye, but to imagine the knife just sliding right through the eyeball right there. Just opening that little bit up. Not so much here or here, but right fucking here. Ouch. Fuck. That was gnarly's Barkley's. And then he takes the scissors, he cuts off the top of her head, scalps her. We've seen that done in the movies before. I can handle it. He hacks off her arm. But what's so depraved about the whole thing is the way they let her flop around on the floor like a fucking fish. And she's just like trying to goddamn P90X her way to a goddamn phone or something. I think we were all like, just give up, lady. Throw in the damn towel. Throw in the damn towel, please. Jesus. Give up. Stop trying to make life happen. It's over with. But she is a survivor like fucking Destiny's Child, because she survives that and so much more. You might say it's unbelievable, like how could somebody lose as much blood as she's lost and still survive? But I say to that, fuck it, it's crazier when she's alive, and it makes it even more gah. But the mom comes home, and this is Art's funniest moment maybe in the entire movie, and it's so sick. Oh no, wait, there's more. I forgot. He runs out of the screen, and she's sitting there, and then he runs back in like an excited kid, and he has bleach. And he's opened her back, by the way, as well. I mean, he's just opened it all up like it was a fucking Christmas present from Satan Claus. And he opens it all up. He pours bleach on this poor girl's body. And then he has the Morton salt. I've seen it done with the salt, but not the goddamn bleach. Shit. Who thinks of this shit? You need to get fucking help. And then when the mom gets home, and kind of reminded me of Scream a little bit, where she sees the door broken, because you know how the mom's like, Casey, baby. That was kind of how the mom was. Ice Machine just scared the shit out of me. But she gets up there, and he's sitting on the bed, has Allie upright, and it's just like, he has like skin, like he's like opened her up in different areas, just like all over her legs and body, and is peeling like a fucking fruit and roll, just layers of skin off of her. And then she literally is still alive and looks up at the mom. And this is Art's funniest scene, because he starts cracking up. The mom's crying, and he's like dying laughing at what he's done. And he's like, yeah, look at this shit. And it's so sick that it's so funny, but God, it's funny. And then the girl's still alive, starts giggling, and then looks at the mom, and she's like, Mom. When she spoke, I was like, this is too much. I love it. It's so fucked up. It feels so wrong, yet so right. I think that's the scene that if you're going to put one scene to fight up against the vagina chainsaw, the Vagisaw kill from the first one, I think this is the one. And then that bastard takes her head and makes it a candy ball, and actually holds the head and gives it to the kids who come up to the door with the candy in her brain hole, and nobody notices. And he's even a dick when the kids try to take more than one. He's like, no. So fucking genius. You're a genius. You're sick. Get help. But god damn, you're a genius, whoever thinks of this shit. Then we go to the bar. Sienna and her friend go out for Halloween. and they're getting drunk, and her friend puts Molly in her drink. I love her friend, by the way. Brooke, played by Kaylee Hyman. I thought she was a really good, like, typically this character is reserved for somebody who's annoying. And she had her moments where she was a dick to her friend, and she got on your nerves just by the way her character was supposed to act. But I thought the actress was great, and I thought she did a great job, and I thought the character was actually likable up to a certain point. So yeah, they go there. She slips Molly in her drink, and she's tripping balls. This scene goes on a little while long. Another one of those scenes that probably could be shortened a little bit for sure, but she starts to see the little girl, which is very strange. It's got to be the family tie to their dad, whatever's going on here. She starts to see the little girl popping up everywhere there, and the kid gets in a fight with his mom, calls her a bitch, runs out of the house, and he sees the little girl in the van, and he sees her, and her eyes turn yellow, which is dope as shit. But also later on, again, I'm floating around a little bit here, but later on, after they've kidnapped him, the little girl calls Sienna on the phone and is able to use his voice. So I don't know if it's just a tie into these characters, since nobody else seems to see the little girl, but the members of the family, possibly. But there's definitely something, I mean, we knew this when Art came back to life, but super duper natural, right? Super fucking natural. Don't know what, don't know how yet. I'm sure we'll find out as the franchise goes on. But yeah, absolutely supernatural crazies happening here. So the mom thinks that the kid has pumpkined and toilet papered and shaving creamed her car, whipped creamed her car, whatever it was. And this is the saddest, one of the saddest parts of the whole movie. The mom goes out and just real quick, to the point, no faking, and cooking him, sees like a pound of bacon. Art she moves off the thing, off the windshield. He's just sitting in the driver's seat of her car. Boom. Shoots her with a really big fucking gun, and her head goes all over the place. Just open that shit up. She looked like one of the sandworms. She looked like the people from fucking Beetlejuice, man, but only like with hamburger helper all over them. Just threw her head clean across the room. Disgusting. You felt awful for her. Like, I thought that was a character that may live. You know, that's a character that was pretty strong in my opinion. Could have had a nice fight with Art too. That could have been a real brouhaha, because that lady had nuts. Saddest year ago, though, the actress and the character. But yeah, so the kid comes home, and Art has her sitting at the dinner table, and in another scene of, in another scene of just pure goddamn depravity. You sick fucks! He walks up to her, opens the gaping hole that is her face, and starts shoving mashed potatoes inside of it. Take my strong hand, child. Oh, God, it was so gnarly. And I have a friend, Courtney, who really hates mashed potatoes, and I can't wait till you see that scene, Courtney. So moving on, the girls are leaving the bar with the girl's boyfriend, who I also liked. Like, the typical character who's really annoying. He's not a good person, the character's not, but I thought he was pretty entertaining to watch, and I liked what they did with that. So we're watching these three drive away after Sienna has freaked out and had basically a panic attack at the bar, because obviously if you're seeing a miniature version of Art the Clown on the dance floor, you're gonna have a fucking panic attack. I get a panic attack sometimes just because of stress. I've never seen some shit like that. I'd probably just bend over and die if I saw that. But yeah, they're parked. Sienna goes in to look for a brother who Art's kidnapped with a really big fucking needle. They go to this abandoned amusement park, and while she's looking for him, the boyfriend goes out to take a piss after snorting some cocaine, and Art comes out and gives him, this has been in the video the whole fucking time, hasn't it? Son of a cock baker's biscuit fart. He goes over, and another gnarly death scene, rips his cock off, man, stabs him in the dick multiple times. Is this what it's like? Is this what it looks like when you stab someone in the dick? I'm pretty sure that's how you would do it, right? You just pick up the knife and then you just stab it. That's just what you do, right? Until blood comes out. But yeah, no, don't do that. Don't stab a dick. This scene is just, it's just goddamn, it just makes you hurt, and your cockles, literally makes your cockles hurt. It's horrible. It's awful. It's sick and disgusting. He stabs it, and then he rips it off. He rips it the fuck off like it's a piece of chicken meat. And then he rubs it on the door towards her, and you just, whoo, whoo, whoo. That's a gnarly death. That's just another gnarly goddamn death. No man wants that. Deal or no deal, you're looking what's in the next suitcase. No dick death for me. Thank you. And the best friend gets it, but she had a nice stand-up fight with him, and I like that, because she seemed like a strong person, but he fucks up her leg, chases her into the world's gnarliest bathroom. This bathroom makes the bathroom in Saw look like a Disney movie bathroom. Oh, it's so disgusting. There's like a flattened, boneless possum that's just squished. There's like a pile of shit this big and like a trough. It's just, God, no thank you. I'll just shit my pants. Thanks. But her death, holy God. She puts up a great fight. She really does. But he beats her with that spike thing with all the little pieces of like knife and shit that he hammered into like this table leg. Beats her the shit out of her with that, and then throws a vat of acid on her, and her skin is fucking bubblicious all over the place. It's, oh God, it's disgusting. It's depraved and it's fucked up. And then he goes to town on her a little bit more because you can't stop there. Moderation is for cowards, and I need a new pair of shorts. Oh yeah, I forgot. Then he eats her fucking heart. Oh, then the brother. He goes up to the brother. He cuts the brother's face, just right in the fucking face. Just is slashing him up on his back, doing crazy shit, looking like goddamn Jack Nicholson as Joker, painting shit in that one scene in Batman '89. Just slashing the shit out of him all over the place. Little cuts. Little tiny Sweeney Todds. And then Sienna shows up. She goes to bat for him. She sticks that wooden thing that we were talking about, the spork. Let's just call it a spork. She sticks the spork right in his brain, which we know doesn't affect him, but it does slow him down for a moment. And we do get one line when she escapes with the kid for a second that he says they need you in this place for a reason. It's what Daddy saw. They think you're the only one that can stop him, which is just another... These people are on the path. They were meant to be this way. I don't know what that story is, but they're hitting at something that's going to be supposedly in the next movie. But her and Art have a great battle. And again, this is where she shows off just how ferocious and badass she is as a character. And she's believable too. Like, she doesn't have any training or anything like that. But what she's going through here is basically pure willpower based. She's not doing karate moves and crazy shit like that. But it's willpower based, and she seems like she's strong enough to really, handle this. There's this one scene where he's throwing around this like whip with like a bunch of sharp shit at the end of it, like barbed wire or something, and he fucks up her brother with it. Her brother is he's not going to be okay after this is over with. There's no doubt about that. He's definitely going to need 7,000 to 9,000 stitches. And she's laying on top of her brother and just letting herself take it. And so this is a pure final girl. This is a pure, somebody that you really want to root for. She's laying on top of him and just taking all this punishment from Art. And then she finally grabs it and she gets her strength or whatever and like pulls him back, beats the shit out of him for a little bit. She really tables the turns on him there for a second. He ends up with a steel spike through his brain that she does to him, which is pretty gnarly. Then the kid shoots him, and then the little girl shows up and pretends to be their mom. So again, super triple double NBA Jam supernatural shit going on here with these two. She takes the form of her mom, and that's how Sienna finds out that her mom's dead. Then she gets really fucking pissed. Art's been carrying around this goddamn sword they've been showing us the whole movie. That was a part of her costume, but she couldn't take with her because it was super sharp and she was afraid she would get arrested with it. But Art had the sword from where he was at their house. He stabs her in the stomach with the sword, just straight up. Death becomes you. Very insertive. What's the word I'm looking for? Invasive all the way inside of her. For sure. Would kill most and may kill her because he pulls it out and there's a hole. You know what I mean? There's this weird trippy sequence where the floor, like she goes through the floor and then she ends up in this like Houdini chamber, like, and it's filled with water, and she's around her is the dream sequence and the girl on fire with a guitar. I don't know if it's like upside down. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. You watch her drown. And then all of a sudden, the belly button wound gets inflamed with light, like a fucking U2 show is going on in her stomach, and then like shoots it out, and then the sword lights up on its own. And then she's alive. So when the sword starts lighting up like Castle of Grayskull shit, you're like, oh wow, we are really going fantasy territory here. We are Dream Warriors all the way through, from the beginning to the end. And, I don't know where that's going to go. And... with these movies, especially a movie like this, you really, I guess I understand where they're coming from because you really have to add to it. You can't. Terrifier 2 was definitely Terrifier's Dark Knight. It was so fucking good and it bested the first one in every way. But how many times can you best that? People are going to expect gore when they come to this, but I mean, how do you outdo yourself? I mean, I guess Tom Cruise does it in Mission Impossible. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're adding elements to the franchise clearly as they go along here. And a lot was added to the lore of Art here and a lot of questions. I don't know. I didn't love it at the time. I was like, oh man, that's really far into fantasy boundaries, but we'll see what it does. And I'm not going to poo-poo it because I don't know where it all goes, but it did seem out of place. And like, man, if this would have ended like 20 minutes ago and we just had her pull off, saving the kid and we know Art's going to come back, That would have been pretty cool, I think. That would have been solid, but we'll see where this goes either way. But yeah, there's something fantastical and supernatural going on here with this. But oh yeah, and something else fucked up. The brother wakes up to Art eating his goddamn ankles. He's just fucking chewing on him. Just chewing on a human being. No big deal. Imagine to wake up to someone eating you. That is not what I meant when I said I like to be woken up with oral. You know what I mean? That's none of your business. But yeah, she decapitates Art. Decapitation. And that's how we always think, like, these unkillable fucking slasher icons should go out, right? And your head is like, but what if they're decapitated? Can they come back from that? Are they the T1 fucking 1000? I don't think so. But with Art, you expect that he will, and he can. But the little girl goes up and picks up his decapitated head. And it was a cool scene, by the way she did it. It wasn't just a swift, like, H2O axe stomp. She had to kind of dig in there a little bit, and Art gives her the... Which he looks just like Nicolas Cage right before John Travolta kills him in Face Off when he's like, waiting on the big ride, baby. That whole scene. And he does the with the new face. Anyways, he does that face to fuck with her, but she cuts his head off. And the little girl picks up his head and walks away. And it's so creepy. They're sitting there like, God, what the fuck is going on right now? And she just disappears into the night. They hug. The end. Then the bonus sequence. Guys, I watched this movie the first time, and I shit you not, I am so stupid. I am so dumb. I saw Chris Jericho was supposed to be in this movie, and I left the theater going, who the fuck was Chris Jericho? My dumb ass had to pee so bad that I ran right out of the theater after it was over. Didn't even think about an after credit sequence. There's an after credit sequence, and it takes like 2 seconds to get to, so stick around from it. Chris Jericho is working at a hospital where they're keeping the girl who ate the broadcaster's face in the last movie. The one, you know, prepare yourself for this. She's in her cell using her vaginal blood to write nice words like cunt on the wall. Didn't think I'd say that sentence when I woke up this morning. You imagine that in school? You're like, hey, Judy, I forgot my pencil. Do you have one I could borrow? And it's like, no, but just take this. Jesus Christ, it was disgusting. So nasty. Yeah. Then she just starts ripping away at her hoo-ha. Just ripping away. The ripping and the tearing. Just going into town like Santa Claus looking for your special toy. Only she rebirths Art's fucking head. What? What the fuck? Chris Jericho was great in the scene, by the way. He was funny. He was natural. That worked out. What? What the fuck? How many times am I going to say that? I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how all the supernatural shit ties together. You got a fucking sword and a goddamn Masters of the Universe shit happening over here with her. You've got them able to fake people's voices, and obviously they can come back from the dead, but only certain people can see them. And whatever's going on with this chick, Art fucked her up real bad, and now she has been forced to birth his head, which I assume is going to grow into a new body. I don't fucking know, man. You know what I do know? I like it. It's really fucking weird, and it gets me going. It's provocative, you know what I mean? Like, it's super strange and out there and crazy, and you know, I can't wait to see how they tie it all together. Maybe they'll never explain it. Maybe they'll just keep doing weird fucking shit, you know? That's cool too, I think. When it comes to this franchise, fuck it, don't explain it. I don't think I need to know, you know? How do you feel about that, by the way? Do you want to know how all this shit connects? Or do you just want it to get keeping weirder with no explanation whatsoever? Because it's there to freak you out, not to fulfill your fucking knowledge needs. You know what I mean? I don't know how I feel about that. It feels kind of plot hole-y, like, oh, well, if nothing's going to be... If we're not going to hold it to a standard or, you know, connective tissue of some sort, then they could do anything and it just doesn't make any sense. There's that argument too. How do you guys feel about that? Where are you going to go in between? Honestly, at the end of the day, my score did go down for this movie a little bit. Just that little bit extra. It went down to an 8.5 for me because the first time you see it, it's such a ride. You know, you don't know what's coming up next, and it's just way more encompassing, and it feels like a thrill park ride. And the second time you see it, I just notice more of the stuff that could have been edited out. You know what I mean? I notice way more of the lag time, and none of it's bad. Like, the movie's not boring in any sense of the word, but when you're sitting there going, this definitely could have been 2 hours. You know, it could have been, the sweet spot would have been 2 hours. If we just toned down a little bit of the dialogue here, cut a scene a little bit here, the chase scene at the end went on for a little while. And again, just didn't love the dream sequence, although I reserve judgments on that because I feel like that ties into a story that they have going on down the road. Either way, 8.5 is still a fantastic fucking movie. One of my favorites of the whole entire year. It's going to land in the top 10, maybe top 5 on my list when it comes to time to rank my favorite movies of the year. And I'm so happy for these people and what they did and the heart and effort that they put into it. You can tell When you follow them on Twitter or whatever, when they talk about the movie, you can tell in the quality of the movie, it did not feel like a low budget movie. That's why I said it's like the Dark Knight to Terrifier's Batman Begins, because it didn't feel low budget at all. It felt huge. It felt like a gigantic event. It was amazing, and it's definitely the new thing in fucking horror. You know, Art the Clown is, if you've been asking for what about a new Michael, a new Jason, you have it. It's here and it's in your face, and you just might not be ready for how gnarly it is, because it's fucking gnarly. I can't wait to see what they do with the third movie, and I'm really happy for all the success that they're having with this. I mean, they are killing it, literally, with faces being opened up with bare hands and the like, writing on walls and vagina blood. They should have done a gimmick ad with that. They should have just written their box office numbers. You know, had someone writing it in their own vaginal blood on the wall. Häagen-Dazs. Long movie, a lot of stuff happens in it. If I forgot anything, my bad. Let me know down below. But I hope you enjoyed going on this ride with me, this fucked up ride to Tuna Town. I don't know why it had to be tuna. I sure enjoyed talking about it with you, and I love talking about movies with you guys in general. I thank you guys so much for giving a shit what I have to say or what I think. I really appreciate it, and I want to know what you guys have to say and what you guys think. So comment down below. I love your fucking faces. You guys have an amazing day.
Halloween never ends, suck my fucking dick, and I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not, yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking, let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS, cause Halloween never